I'll be talking about SQL injection. SQL injection is technique that used to attack a website database, and this be done by including a portion of the SQL statement in a web form in an attempt to get the website to pass in the password or any other information in the database to the attacker. So the attacker can get credit card information or the user's identity from the database of some websites he attack. Technical implementations is really easy. So consider following statement line of code where the statement equals selects anything from the table users where the name equal the variable username, and here the username variables that could be set as blank or 1 equal 1. At the result, the SQL query will become select anything from the table users where username equal anything random thing or 1 equal 1. Here 1 is always what equal 1, so the query will return the information in everything in the table users to the attacker. In some website applications that allow multiple queries, the attacker can also set the username to be A and then semicolon drop the table users. Thus, the SQL query will become select anything from user where the name equal A. We don't care about that part. The important part is drop table user come after the queries. If this SQL query is performed in the database, it will drop the table users from the database. There's also other cases where the variable is expected as a number, but the user put in a string, and that string can be an SQL statement like the one above. And if the programmer did not check it carefully, it can also cause some damage to the database. It's really hard for the programmer to taking care of all cases to against the SQL injection attack. There's also many advanced techniques using SQL injection out there, but it requires a lot of more effort and time from the perspective of the attacker. We can Google or check it out, and I will be also showing up some defense techniques used to prevent the database from being attacked by the attacker. The first one is parameterize the statements. So instead of using any user input in the statement, we work with parameterize, which can only store a value of given type and not an arbitrary SQL fragment. The second one is escaping. Whenever we see characters or any SQL string that look like strange to us or maybe has special meaning in SQL, escaping it do not perform the SQL statement. For example, every time we see a single code in the parameter that pass into the SQL statements, we should consider taking care of it. Take a look at it to see if it really means to put a single code in there to look for the answer, or it's some kind of SQL injection attack. Also, the programmer should also check the input from the user using some input validation technique that check the users if the user's input is authenticated against a set of defined rules of length, type, and syntax, and also against some business rules. Some simple rules such as make sure that the users who have the permission to access the database have the least privileges, so he can have less ability to cause damage to the system. Do not check, do not use the common names for database tables and columns that are easy to guess, so the attacker wouldn't know the name of the columns or the database tables to get the data, drop it. Because it is so easy to perform an SQL injection, SQL injection was ranked one of the top 10 problems in web application vulnerabilities in 2007 and 2012. And here is some example of attack that I want to bring up. On June 29, 2007, a computer criminal defaced the Microsoft UK website using SQL injection. So even Microsoft have the vulnerability to the SQL injection. On August 17, 2009, the United States Department of Justice charged an American citizen, Albert Gonzalez, and two unnamed Russians with the theft of 130 million credit card numbers using SQL injection attack. This is reported as the biggest case of identity theft in American history. And on March 27, 11, MySQL.com, the official homepage for MySQL was also compromised by a hacker using SQL line injection. On July 2012, a hacker group was reported to have stolen 450,000 login credentials from Yahoo, and unbelievable, the logins were stored in plain text and there's no protections or any kind of encryption in the database for this information. And recently, October 1st, 2012, a hacker group called Team Goshal published personal records of students, faculty, employees, and alumni from 53 universities including Harvard, Princeton, Stanford, Cornell, Johns Hopkins, and the University of Zurich on a website named pastbin.com. And here's some of my reference sources related to SQL injection.